So I'm going to do a couple things I don't normally do, but most importantly, um, I'm going to tell a little bit about my Uncle John. And if anybody knows anything about my Uncle John, or has heard my stories about my Uncle John, it may concern you that I'm gonna tell you to take a little bit of Uncle John advice. See, my dad told me a story of my Uncle John back, I don't know, 30, 40 years ago. They're driving along, and Uncle John just suddenly looks over at his brother and he says, Char, you see those lines there on the road? Do you know what they mean? And my dad said, well, yeah. Well, those solid lines means that you can't cross at all, and those dotted lines mean that when it's safe you can cross, like the pass or something. But the lines just tell you where the lines are. The lanes divide and all that. Well, it's an interesting way of looking at it, Char. But you know what I see? I see control. You see, these lines don't mean nothing. And all of a sudden, he starts swerving back and forth and doing figure eights and gets back into the road line of traffic and takes a second and says, So, Char, you see those lights up there? What do they mean? Well, I guess they don't really mean anything. I mean, they're supposed to tell you when you can stop and you can start and you can go, but I guess, maybe. That's right, Char. You see that red light? Blew right through it. Don't mean nothing. What you got to worry about is the cars. There ain't no cars. There ain't nobody here. So what do these lines mean? What do those lights mean? They don't mean nothing. They're imaginary. They're just for show. We're in a weird time. We're in a weird, scary time. I don't I don't know how we're gonna fix it, but we're in a weird time because the richest man on earth is just picking us up like we're a snow globe and shaking us around and saying, there ain't nothing you can do. And I don't know that he's wrong. Like, everybody keeps scrambling. Well, we gotta do these strongly worded letters, and we gotta follow these. No. They don't. They don't mean anything unless we agree they mean something. And we've been feeding these billionaires to the point where they don't need us or our approval. They just need our compliance. They need our productivity. And we just proved to them, through what's been happening to the Palestinians, that even the liberals will overlook genocide. That's a hell of a lesson to teach oligarchs at a point where like four guys have more money than all the working people in America. We taught them that even genocide isn't enough to make us look out for somebody else. Like, as long as we're terrified about our own self-interest, we will let them do genocide. Even the liberals. I don't I don't know what else to say. I don't the rules don't matter. At least not in the way you think they do. Yeah. Like Uncle John said, when there are other cars and when you're being respectful, like the rules kind of make sense. You have to do, because there's cars there. Like, the lines are guides, or the lights are, because like, but they're not safeguards in themselves. They don't actually stop you. Laws don't actually stop billionaires, and Trump just proved it. Like, I don't know if it's just through malpractice or it's through malfeasance or if it's just through incompetence. But after 4 years, they could not hold him accountable for orchestrating a coup. It took them 4 years, and they got nothing. No, like nothing. And we've got the people that are supposed to be protecting us pretending that rules matter, that they're going to follow the rules. No, the rules are for us. The rules are to control us. The rules don't apply to them. And we taught them that as long as we get ours, or enough of the people that hold the power to keep productivity going, enough of them get theirs, they can just genocide people. They can just genocide people. And in the process of committing genocide, they can have the Democrats run on the party platform of joy. Talk about cognitive dissonance. Jesus, guys. I don't know what to do now. I don't know where to go from here. But if we're gonna make it through this, we have to recognize where we're at. We're in a different reality now. Elon Musk is completely invulnerable. We can't touch him. At least not alone. This is bigger than the tribalism and the team sports and the I have a good reason to hate these people. We're not going to make it if we don't figure out how to be more cooperative. And we have to be more accepting that there are very, very good people that have unintentionally, or because they felt they had no other option, signed off on terrible things. You know, like the Democrats allowing a genocide. I don't know why, but that seems to me that should be something that allows for some empathy from them for people who voted for Trump, because they thought there was no other choice. Their lives have gotten harder. Their wealth has shrank. Their access to health care and the means of survival have gotten progressively worse for like 20 years. And all the Democrats tell them is that you're imagining things. We did better legislation than has been done by any of our peers. Why aren't you just worshiping us? Because everybody had been failing. Like, doing better than failure can still be failure. You're just not failing as bad. And I don't understand why nobody can get that the empty suits in the Democratic Party did not compel voters to come out. And yes, it did push some to vote for Trump, but not as many as you seem to think. Like, Trump really didn't gain any ground. Harris lost because she lost Biden votes. Because they sucked. And pretending that they didn't, it's just making you look stupid. It's not making you look like you're a champion of what is right. It doesn't make you look like you are committed to the rights of anybody. Like, if you really care about progressive causes, you have to care about the populist message that we're all poor as fuck. And the Democrats aren't helping us no longer be poor as fuck. And we're so poor and we're so desperate that we almost have no choice but to go to them, right? Like, what are we going to do? I don't know. I thought I was helping. I thought that for years and years I was sharing the benefit of the historical perspective of somebody who has not only attended the classes and gotten the certifications, but like has grafted into his DNA the study of the political science of what has got us here and has been trying to warn that we're doing it wrong. I thought I was helping. And now we're facing a time that is scary across all space and time. I cannot think of a world leader or power or definitely an individual. Like not even Alexander the Great had both the wealth and influence as Elon Musk, especially now that he's been unchained by Donald Trump. Like there isn't an analogy. This is the scariest thing that has ever happened to humanity, and we're not going to get out of it by voting harder. Like, that ship has sailed. So if you know any activists or anarchists out there, start taking some notes. Start finding out what you can do to help and support them, because I'm too old. I I can't physically fight this fight. But I can help. Or I can try to help. But it's scary out there. But I gotta think there's a way out of it. We've gotta look to the history. We have to look to traditions in resistance and secret communication. And I know it sounds crazy. It sounds crazy. The world is crazy. We have to figure out how to go more analog and be more secretive and more careful and still exist in the world as if everything's fine. We're going to have to do both because that's how others have survived. And we are living proof that new ideas are not always good ideas. Like, ironically, my version of progressivism is actually like regressivism. Like, the only way forward is for us to go back. Like, we have to be better at communal living. We have to get better at communal understanding. Because we're not going to survive. The tech bros have made us completely dependent on them. And now they're in charge. They made all of us dependent on them, and now they're in charge. They control the media. They control the government. They control the money. This is the worst case scenario. This is the thing that we've been trying to avoid. We've just been on two entirely different pages in this book. And I thought I was maybe wrong. I hoped I was wrong. I fell back asleep and pretended like I was wrong, but I wasn't wrong. I wasn't wrong. This is where we are. This is where we are.